Sadly, recently we lost another person in show business who was tremendous. Probably the best comedian that we've had in this country so far, Phyllis Diller. And she was famous mostly because she had tremendous one-liner jokes. She must have had a bunch of great writers like that. And I just wanted to give you a few of what she used as it. For instance, I once wore a peekaboo blouse. People would peek, and then they'd go boo. I was the world's ugliest baby, and when I was born, the doctor slapped everybody. My vanity table is a Black & Decker workbench. They say that housework can't kill you, but why take a chance? And you know you're old when your walker has an airbag. Okay, because I'm doing kind of older people jokes and so forth today, in honor of our speaker later on, I guess. Long-suffering husband and wife took a trip to Jerusalem. And while they were there, the wife died. So the body went to an undertaker in Jerusalem, and he said, now you have two choices here. You can send her body home. That will cost you 16,000 shekels. And you also could have her buried here. It would only be 800 shekels. And the husband thought for a while, and he said, well, I'm going to ship her home. The undertaker said, why would you do that? I mean, the difference in price, 16,000 versus 800 shekels, you know? It's unbelievable. And the husband said, yeah. He said, I understand what you're saying. But, he said, if I remember correctly, there was a man who lived here who was died. And he was buried, and 3 days later, he arose from the dead. And I just can't take the chance. An elderly husband was approached by his wife, who whispered in his ear, tonight I'm going to give you super sex. And he said, well, I'll have the soup. 69-year-old millionaire married to a beautiful 25-year-old model, supermodel type of lady, unbelievable. And all his friends were very jealous and admiring of him that he was able to pull this off. And they said, how did you manage to land such a beautiful, beautiful young wife? And he said, it was easy. He said, I am 65 years old, but I told her I was 96. On his retirement, a widower decided to travel around the world. And he began by crossing the United States. And as he got to one really podunk town, he found that he needed a place to stay that night, and there was only one rather seedy hotel that he could be there. And so he went over to this terrible hotel, and he rang the bell at the desk, and finally this old guy came out, who was the manager, and he said, sorry, we don't have any rooms available. And the guy said, oh, I gotta have some place to stay. There's nothing around here, you know. And the manager said, well, I guess what I could do is I could have you share a room with a beautiful, young, red-headed school teacher. And the guy brightened up and he said, oh boy, this is something. You know, he said, yeah, I'd go for that. He said, he said, and I would be a perfect gentleman. And the manager said, well, that's a good thing because he's going to be too. Okay, well, I wanted to tell you, and I was thinking of this when the screen was up here just a little bit about birthdays. You know that birthdays are a wonderful thing because the more that you have, the longer you're going to live. And finally, I've got to say that I am to the stage now where I have to put in my hearing aids and my false teeth before I can ask my wife where I left my glasses. And with that, I turn it back to you.